Let's dive into the minor pentatonic scale, the different levels you can start creating music with. First of all, I'm going to create this loop. Okay, now that I have my loop, the first thing I want to show you, you gotta know the different positions of that scale, the pentatonic scale. So first of all, let's play that scale. You know how expressive this can get. I mean, the history of guitar music kind of proves that. But it's also a good idea to start learning all of the 5 positions of that scale. What about the other one? And this one from the 5. And of course we have the one from the flat 7. Now, whenever you're practicing these, remember, have a motive, an idea in mind. For example, so you see, I always had kind of like an idea, and I try to kind of stretch it out within those positions. Once you have an idea, you can start developing it across the entire fretboard by connecting all of these positions into a more like a horizontal stream. Or coming back. An idea can always be a rhythmic thing or maybe like a sequence, and the ability to kind of develop that and push through has to do with the familiarity of your instrument. Like, how good do you see the notes? How good do you know the scales? Now, once you have those scales down, start adding the extra special note that is the blue note, which is a tritone from your root, and a half step below your 5. And this is where it becomes really interesting, because you can start adding blues type of double stops. So check it out. An octave lower. And you also have it here. Okay, cool. Well, it's starting to get more interesting, but I want to feel more kind of like a jazzy vibe going on. So that's where I'm gonna start adding different enclosures and chromatics. Okay, so this passage, for example, it's kind of like this cage surrounding my 5, which is my triad over here. I'm aiming into my 5, and I'm creating like a kind of like this chromatic from both sides, and then I'm grabbing the note. Let's do the same thing to the root. Now, if I want to create a bebop enclosure, it's going to be this. This is my cage, surrounding the notes, grabbing it. Let's introduce the flat 5, the blue note we just talked about, into that kind of expression. See, this is the 5, flat 5. Alright, now let's start talking about different minor keys. Let's go and start checking out the harmonic minor key. So you can see that I have this flat 6 over here. Root, 2nd, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, major 7 into my root. With that, I can create my diminished 7th degree. So if this is going to be a 1 chord, C minor, I can start introducing this B diminished. So now, another thing that I can start introducing is the 5 of C minor. Instead of seeing only my pentatonic, I can also see my G7, which creates this tension that wants to resolve back into C. Okay, so look for that G7 arpeggio. The notes are going to be G, B, D, and F. Let's take a look over here. So I have G, B, D, and F. And since this is a resolution into a minor key, it's really popular and beautiful to start adding tensions to that G7. For example, I can create kind of like a G7 altered sound and start improvising over the 5 altered of that C minor. The altered scale from G is going to have a root, flat 2, sharp 2, 3, sharp 4, sharp 5, flat 7, and then I'm back to my root. So check out, just listen. So now I just resolved back to my pentatonic. Let's go back to G7 altered. And I resolved back. So learning these G altered scale can complement even when you're improvising over a 1 chord vamp. Now let me stop the loop for a second and explain some stuff. So it's very important to understand that in order to really understand what I just talked about, you gotta have really solid fundamentals. Whenever you're learning a scale, make sure to learn all of the positions. Make sure that triads are something you're taking seriously, and that the word diatonic and sequences, ideas, motives is something that is gonna help you drive your creativity to the next level. Now, luckily for you, I have everything organized in systems, in modules, so you can discover everything you need to start taking your playing to a whole other level of expression. I'm talking about my Galactic Modern Guitar series, where I show you step by step in 15 modules how you can start implementing creativity into the fundamentals. I'm talking about triads, I'm talking about chromatics, enclosures, how to start creating arpeggios and adding notes to them, and how to take all of the different stuff that you probably already hear in your imagination and start applying that into your actual freedom on the guitar, so you can solidly express yourself with this instrument. Of course, the C pentatonic scale is one of the most expressive, well, not only the C, any pentatonic scale is a very expressive tool that you can start applying into blues and different styles. But starting to see the different types of things I talked about today, like adding the blue note, the flat 5, right, that chromatic note. seeing that in all of the positions. But it also has to do a lot with diatonic awareness, because any sequence you create, right? Let's say you create this sequence on this pentatonic scale. The next degree is gonna be here, the 4. And then I can start creating a sequence from the 5, from the flat 7. All of these stuff are part of your mobility on the instrument. Now, if you want to check out a cool video I did about major triads, make sure to click this video over here and start diving deep into the major world.